Today, I'll be doing a video on holy angels and things which I think I've come to understand about them. If I had to guess, I think that holy angels probably wouldn't engage in informal interactions. I don't think they would be like, "Hi, how are you?" if one of them was to go back to the heavenly realm. I think that the things which they think about, I think it differs a lot from humans. I think that they're very formal in their interactions. When it comes to human beings and things on the earth, I think that holy angels have a very interesting way of viewing things. I think that they have a habit of viewing things in themselves and examining things in themselves. So if a human has a recreational activity, the holy angel wouldn't be like, "Oh, well, that person's enjoying themselves." The holy angel would probably be like, the holy angel would probably examine whatever the thing is in itself, whatever the recreational activity is. And say fishing, it would analyze and examine the fishing rod in itself and what occurs, the bait going onto the line and the usage of the rod and the catching of a fish. I think it examines things in itself and it doesn't just think, "Oh, that's a human having fun." I don't think the thinking is very simplistic. I think that it's very concentrated and in depth. So that's very interesting to reflect upon. And so when a holy angel perceives things which might be the cause of enjoyment for a human, the thinking is very focused. What holy angels think about in the heavenly realm is very interesting to speculate upon. it's difficult to know what all the different things which a holy angel would think about in the heavenly realm. And sometimes I get the feeling that the amount of thinking which occurs is limited. Sometimes I get the feeling that holy angels are preoccupied with a variety of things. They have occasion to deliberate, but I think that they would have a lot of things which they would engage in. They would probably be preoccupied with a variety of things. I think that it makes sense that when a holy angel looks at the world and the things in the world, that a holy angel would examine things in themselves, because they're from another dimension, and they experience reality at a higher state. So I think the thinking might be a bit similar to people like Martin Heidegger. Martin Heidegger looks at different objects in themselves, and Martin Heidegger understands that a hammer, for example, can only really be identified as being a hammer when the object is used in a certain way. That what people would commonly identify as a hammer cannot be considered a hammer in itself. The identity of an object comes from the equipmentality of the object, how the equipment is used, and that is where the identity of the object is derived. People can call an object a hammer all they want, but the true identity of an object is revealed in how the object is used. In the eyes of Heidegger, a bottle could be thought of as being a hammer. If what people commonly consider to be a bottle is used in a similar way, or the same way as what people would commonly consider a hammer to be used. So I think that the holy angels share some similitude in the thinking of intellectuals like Martin Heidegger. And I think that's really interesting because it shows that there's a big gap between the cognition which commonly occurs in the human species and the type of thinking which occurs within the members of the angelic host. When it comes to objects which evoke emotional feelings in humans, the way a holy angel views objects like that, really interesting. It's, if I had to guess, I would say that there it begins to, a holy angel begins to self-examine itself to a thorough extent. I find that, if that's true, I find that really interesting. Because I think that objects having sentimental value, I think that that's probably a bit foreign to a holy angel. I don't think that it'd be very normal. I think it'd be quite rare for a holy angel ever to have any sentimental value, to attach any sentimental value to an object. Whereas humans, well, it's very easy for a human to attach sentimental value to an object. And some humans it will be easier than other humans, of course. I like the thought of a holy angel attaching sentimental value to an object, because if that happens, a holy angel becomes really, really interesting. And some might even find a holy angel endearing, because for a holy angel to attach sentimental value to an object, well, that's change, change in perceiving of reality and perceiving of objects. And I think it's a nice thought, holy angel, doing something like that. I think that childlikeness in a holy angel. I think that would be really nice. Because holy angels are so different from children. So different. And if a holy angel was to begin to attach sentimental value to an object, well, really interesting. Really, wow. And I think that it might be possible, but I also think that it would be quite improbable. If I had to make a guess about an analogy for a human and a holy angel, I think that a human could be an adolescent, and holy angel could be assistant professor of the physics department. If I had to guess, that's the kind of inequality which might exist between human and a holy angel. It might be a bit far of a stretch, it might be a bit closer. Something a bit more than an adolescent, something a bit less than a assistant professor in physics department. The way the two different entities perceive reality, wow, big difference. Big difference.